Okay. Okay, right here I have just, since my last video, added some rocks to the side of the inlet on both sides. And they're real wet, and to get the detail in, I will let them get dry. But now I needed to know where the water was going to flow and how it's going to flow, because it will be crashing into the rocks. So now I know how to make the waves come and go around what we have here. So I've started forming the waves with my palette knife. See, that's already dry. Dries very fast. And so I can go back and work on that. I've also added some more color to the ground. Then I'll add some foliage. I'll put some little cedar trees in there for the evergreen. It's fall time of the year, so I'll have to have some more fall color in the grass and turn the green grass into more fall color. Apparently it's already fall and winter. Now wintertime but fall, the colors begin to change. And on each side of the lake, we will decide what it needs and fill in the space so we'll have good balance. And this is the size of the palette knife I used in the water and on the rocks. And then I have a smaller one that I use for the other detail. This is the Master's Touch, small one. I don't see the number on it. I've had most of these so many years that you can't read the name. So these are the two I've used. I may decide, thank you, I may decide to go to some other tool to finish the painting, but I'm going to try to finish it with palette knife. I enjoy it and I want to see the effects it's going to have. And the tree trunks and everything, the limbs and all will be done with palette knife. If I do anything different than that, I will explain. So it's time to put a little fall color in the grass. A few leaves under the trees. But we have to have a little bit of color here and there. And then I'll have some this dead grass in here. I just want the color to be balanced everywhere. Have a little of everything. As you get closer to you, the grass will get taller. You can use the tip of the knife and draw some of your grass. Some of the most interesting paintings I've done have very, very little detail in them. So I will continue now to work on my own. In a few minutes when I get through with this tutorial, I just want to explain what I'm going to do with the water and then make another video. Most of these rocks now have dried enough that I can go in and do some water splashing, crashing around the rocks. Like right in here, as you can see, this wave seemed to come up and crash into that and maybe trickle on down. And then over here, I believe it looks like it would run over that and then come down. So I'm just imagining the levels that these rocks are at. This in here is going to be a reflection of that rock. And then in here I'll put some water lines to show you where the reflections will be. So the colors, the shadows, and the shapes of the waves as they come in will each be different. It's so important not to repeat anything too much exactly the same. It would be almost impossible to do it anyway, so we don't try to. So right in here, I'm going to have the water to come around this rock just kind of around it this way and just kind of swirl around it in this direction. If you get other colors in your water, like you see this yellow was accidentally picked up when I got my color, it makes it more interesting. Water is not blue, it's a reflection of what's around it. So it's a reflection of the sky and of the colors around it. So I think what I'm going to do is go in the background and put the reflection of these trees in the background to show you what I'm talking about. Right in here, we're just going to put smudges of color and go back with a little bit of yellow, I think. And then I do a lot of scraping and scrape a lot of this off. Okay. Wipe the knife clean. Now we have to find out where the boundary is of the landline right here and what is reflections, whatever the reflections are. So first of all, I'm just going to clean off some of this and leave very little of it, because these are only reflections of the trees behind it. Now I'm going to literally draw a line in the water, and I think I'll do it with a kind of a dark blue, just so you can see. Now what you do when you're doing land and water is that you want to have some straight lines where you know where the water is level. Even if the bank curves and changes, it will be straight, like right in here. That's a water line. And here it might drop down a little bit and go all the way across. I think I'm going to bring that up so I can use some of these colors for reflections. Now what I'll do is, so that I'll have some shadows on the bank, is I will just pull this up from that line I just drew. Now we just have some little shadows in the bank of the lake, a little inlet right here. That's easy. Now I can take a little of the lighter blue and colors. Picked up the wrong color at the time. I will go back later and make some more color, and I'll put a little bit more lines in this. Even white lines, just to show you, to show that those are reflections of what's above it. There's a little more paint right there, so we're going to just pull it across. Now we have a reflection of what's above it. This right in here looks like it's a little bit too strong of a color, so I'm going to scrape it down a little bit more. It's already dried. If it bothers me later on, I'll go back with a little bit of blue. Otherwise, we already have now a reflection of the trees in the background. Later, I'll put some trunks in here and some more little details. I'll make this tree larger, and then I'll add some more details. I'll cross the water over here. I'm going to leave it pretty well open, except for I'm going to put some kind of wildlife in this painting, and I haven't decided exactly what. All of the wildlife goes to the water to drink, and I think it'd be perfect to have something perched on the rock over here or down in here. So I'm looking at some pictures, taking some pictures of some tigers and lions, bobtail cats. And I think I'm going to do that in this painting to bring more interest in it. So we'll have the color, the season, and the wildlife all made, all of nature made by our God. And we thank Him for it.